Welcome back, everyone, to DSP versus the Internet for January 7th, 2024, episode 46. So far, the Ultra member submissions have been pretty interesting. Let's move on and see what else we've got in store for this week. Let's find out.
Alright, so you've just finished building your new PC. It has a GTX 970 in it because that's all you could find for under $1,000, but it needs an operating system. Today I'm going to show you how to install Windows 11 and how to activate it. Here's what you'll need. Access to a laptop or PC, and second, a USB flash drive with a minimum capacity of 8 GB.
So you need to install Windows on a new PC, you need another PC? Is that what he literally just said? You need a second PC, and you need a thumb drive? I certainly never did that when I installed Windows on my PCs back in the day. But okay.
That's it. Basically what we're doing is using a program from Microsoft to make a bootable USB drive with Windows 11 on it. From there we can plug it into our new PC, boot from it, and install Windows 11. Super easy, I'm going to show you every single step. Let's begin. Type download Windows 11 into Google, click the first result, or visit this web address, or click the link in the description. You'll have three options on this page. The one we want to select is the second option, create Windows installation media. Click download now. This will download the Windows Media Creation tool, which will allow us to create a bootable USB drive with Windows 11 on it. By the way, if you've not already connected a USB flash drive, now would be a good time to do so. Also, make sure you back up any data on the flash drive that you want to keep, as the next steps will involve wiping it of all data. Once it's downloaded, run the program. You'll need to accept the
Is he insinuating that Windows 11 is completely free and you don't have to buy the program? Is that what he's saying? Like, I know it's free for people who already have Windows, but if you buy a new PC and you're installing it clean, don't you have to buy Windows? He's acting like it's just free from forever.
Terms of agreement, after which you'll come to this screen. Change the language if necessary and hit next. It'll now ask us which media we want to use. We're sticking with the first option, USB flash drive.
Okay.
The next screen will show you a list of connected USB drives. Select the one you just plugged in. Before proceeding, just another reminder, all the data on the flash drive is about to be wiped. If you're ready, hit next. You can now go make a coffee, some tea, maybe a sandwich. Either way, this part is going to take a few minutes to complete. Congratulations, you just made yourself a bootable USB drive with Windows 11 on it.
I'm being told, ever since like Windows 7, you can download Windows for free, completely. You can install it for free, completely. But if you want to keep using it, you eventually have to pay for it. So at one point, it's going to kind of be like, you get started, but then eventually it's going to say, hey, guess what? You're using this, you got to pay for it now. Right? Okay. I see.
Now before we go any further, an important note: if you're only using one storage drive in your new PC, maybe a single M.2 drive or regular SSD, you can ignore what I'm about to say next. But if you have two or more storage drives connected, maybe a secondary drive for your games, make sure to disconnect
those are
any
SSDs today? I haven't seen one in ages. That's what SSDs look like now? Wow, that's wild. They're tiny. I mean, they're the size of what thumb drives used to be, right? Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Drives other than the one you want to install Windows onto. Just unplug them for now. There are two reasons for this. One, it'll make sure we get a clean install. Windows has a habit of randomly putting the bootloader on the secondary drive, which is super annoying. We don't want that. And two, it's safer. This way you won't end up accidentally formatting your second drive.
So there you go. For people who say everything's so easy, immediately he says you got to open your PC and remove additional hard drives just to make sure that Windows does things correctly. So Windows is so untrustworthy. You can't even rely on it to install to the boot drive you want it to be on. You have to remove all other hard drives from your computer to prevent misinstalling the OS. That's pretty bad. That's pretty fucking bad, honestly. To be honest with everyone, that's really stupid, okay?
It may or may not have data on it, say from your previous PC. With that out of the way, let's get Windows 11 installed. Grab your USB flash drive, plug it into a USB port on the back of your new PC, and power it on. Now, in the vast majority of cases, it should just boot straight from that USB flash drive to the Windows 11 install screen without you having to do anything. But if it doesn't, don't worry, restart the PC and mash whichever button it says on the motherboard splash screen to enter the BIOS.
Okay.
Usually it's the delete key or F12, but it depends on your motherboard. From here, you'll just need to find the menu with boot options. It should be labeled boot or something similar. Once you're on that menu, you should see boot override. This basically allows you to force the PC to boot from the USB drive. Select the USB drive you made, save changes, exit and restart restart if necessary, the PC will now boot from the flash drive and you'll get to the Windows 11 install screen.
Interesting.
Now, if you got to this point, good job. That's the hardest part out of the way. On this screen, you can change the language, time, and keyboard layout if necessary. I'm just going to leave mine default. Hit next. Click install now. This page is where you can enter your product key if you have one. If you don't worry, just click I don't have a product key. You can use Windows completely free if you can live with the watermark, but either way, I'll show you how to activate it later to get rid of it.
If you can live with
Next,
the
we need to
watermark, so
select our edition.
how bad is the watermark? It's just on your screen forever? You can't get rid of it? Like, ever? So if I were streaming right now without an approved version of Windows, in the corner of my screen, it would say Windows. You would see it. Even now on stream, you would see it. Or only on your screen, like your monitor, right? I mean, why would anyone pay for Windows ever? If that's the case, if it's free now, as long as you can accept the watermark, why would you ever buy Windows? You cannot customize any personalization settings without activation. Huh. It's so weird. I'm so confused. Why? Things have definitely changed since back in the day. No lie, back in the day, if you just wanted to build a PC, you had to buy a full version of Windows, and that cost you a couple $100s. I think the cheapest version of Windows was always like $100 for home version, and then the Pro version, which of course you would want, was always like $200. So now you're telling me that Windows is completely different, right? It's changed completely. Interesting. All right.
Of Windows 11, I'd recommend going with Windows 11 Pro.
Look at all these
Just a quick note, if you plan on activating it later with a product key, the Windows edition needs to match that of our key. So for example, a Windows 11 home key can't be used to activate
What the
Windows.
fuck is N? Home N. Pro N. What the heck? There's a million versions. What if you click the wrong one? You're fucked.
11 Pro and vice versa. Hit next. You'll need to accept the terms of agreement, after which you'll see two options, upgrade or custom. Select custom. It'll now ask us where we want to install Windows. Now, since we disconnected all of the drives apart from our primary drive, we should only see one option. If it isn't a brand new storage drive, you may see one or two other partitions listed here. In that case, you can delete them until you're left with only one. Select the drive and hit next. And that's it. Windows will now install itself onto your PC. It'll probably restart once or twice during the process, but after a couple of minutes, you'll get to the final setup sequence, which is where we'll be able to customize things like region, connect into the internet, sign into your Microsoft account, set in a PIN, all the usual stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. And here we are on the desktop. We've successfully installed Windows 11.
That's exactly what the desktop of my mini PC looks like. Exactly like that. I guess my question would be, because here's the problem, because everyone says, why don't you upgrade the Windows on your PC? I have Windows 8.1, okay? This PC is now 10 years old. It's official. Like this summer, that PC will be 10 years old. And of course, everything works on it, right? Like all my stuff is working. So I've never needed to ever upgrade the Windows at all. In fact, it's incredibly stable. I almost never in my entire 10 years using this PC have gotten a blue screen. Almost never, okay? Very few times ever have we ever had a problem with anything crashing or anything like that. Like maybe every once in a while I have a microphone malfunction. I restart OBS, it's better, right? Very rarely have I had any problems with it. So why would I upgrade? What's the point? If I have a stable system and all I use this PC for is capturing, streaming, uploading, and basic business stuff, you know, going online paying bills and shit, then why would I ever want to upgrade this PC? See what I'm saying? Like, ever. It doesn't make any sense. Leave it stable. I get the feeling that if I were ever to upgrade this PC to 10, 11, or whatever, what's going to end up happening is immediately there might be all these issues where it'll be like, this piece of your PC is not compatible. This piece of your PC is not compatible. So now half your shit doesn't work. And I know, what am I going to do? I upgraded my fucking Windows and half my shit in my PC doesn't work. Like JDTV says, here's the thing, your processor might not even officially be supported by Windows 11. You still upgrade it, it shouldn't cause issues. You should upgrade due to security updates. Yeah, but again, what you guys got to understand is that I'm not doing anything at all and any public access whatsoever. No one can get into this PC. There's no network here. There's no wireless, nothing. It's literally that PC is plugged into the modem, straight to the ISP. That's it. Nothing else. So there's no risk there. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, should I upgrade Windows or should I just get a new PC? Because everything there is outdated anyway. And eventually, I think I should just get the new PC, right? When I can afford it. I don't know when that'll be, but hopefully I can just afford to just get a new PC, and we'll figure the components out and order it from one of these PC builders and just get it fresh and start over. And then the other thing about that too is if I get the new PC, I'll have time to transition all my shit over. I can get all my OBS settings exported from the current PC and put them into the new PC, and it'll work. Now you won't get a compatibility error issue and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. So I think eventually we're going to do it. I don't know when. Again, we've been trying for 2 years. I just haven't had the ability to do it. But all right, let's continue.
Staying in a maximum security prison is not a normal life, but that's also an ambition.
No shit.
To reduce the feeling of being in a prison as much as possible.
And in here you have my cell. So I have DVD and movies from there.
The basic question that we ask ourselves in Norway, what kind of neighbor do we really want? Because they could move into my neighborhood and they could move into your neighborhood. So I think this is an important question to ask ourselves, really. That should have an influence on how we work inside prisons.
The U.S. is the world's largest incarcerated population with 655 out of every 100,000 people behind bars. Norway incarcerates only 60 out of every 100,000 people.
It's not for the prison to judge or to punish. We have to interact and be human. I think it's as simple as that.
Learning from Norway, the most innovative prison in the world. In response to riots, high recidivism rates, and the murder of 2 correctional officers in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Norway began to re-examine and restructure its approach to corrections.
The most important thing is how we treat people. This is the 4 key elements that I would like you to remember. The principle of normality, the focus that we have in Norway on humanity inside prisons, what we call dynamic security, and the emphasis that we put on reintegration into society.
This group of activists, researchers, and corrections officials from America visited Norway in the fall of 2019.
I would say the main goal of the trip is for inspiration to go bold back in the United States.
The group toured 2 Norwegian facilities, Halden Prison and Illa Detention and Security Prison.
Let's talk a little bit more about Halden then. How do we work and what are the unique things about us?
Halden Prison opened in 2010 and was designed specifically with the Norwegian philosophy of incarceration in mind. It is often referred to as the world's most humane prison. Well, if it's the world's most humane prison, you better have prisoners in there that are not insano, you know, dangers. You know what I mean? Like a white-collar crime, like someone who embezzled money or something versus, you know, a mass murderer. So, you know what I'm saying?
So I have DVD and movies from there. Here we have a real toilet with a shower and everything. You know, you can see everybody have their key, so they can open or close their doors whenever they want.
Even though it's nice here, it's still not a summer camp. But I would like you to, you know, look beyond the facilities. It's not the most important thing.
So this is the cell. Every cell is similar. And here we have the kitchen, where I used to prepare the food. You can see here is inside here.
That's a really important principle in Norway, which talks about that taking someone's liberty away and taking them away from their family, away from their community, that in of itself is the punishment. So life inside prisons should look as normal to life in the community as possible.
And in here?
That's an interesting theory about being in prison. I was under the impression that when you are arrested for a crime, convicted of said crime, and you're imprisoned, is that number one, you're supposed to have your freedoms taken away on purpose to punish you for what you've done that's wrong, correct? In the hopes that since you've had those things taken away, that now you will learn that it is more important to be in line with what society permits, abiding by the laws, so you can get those freedoms back, than, like for example, let's say you're someone who stole a lot of money from someone over time. Maybe, like I said, maybe one of these white-collar criminals, an embezzler, okay? So you stole a ton of money, you finally got caught, and you went to jail. But if your entire time you're in jail, let's say you're in jail for 15 years. The entire 15 years you're in jail, it's cozy. It's a nice cell. You're eating good food. You're watching DVDs, right? When you get out of jail and you have nothing, are you more apt to probably try to steal again? Because either you steal money and you get more money, so that's good, or if you get caught again, you go back to the cozy jail where you just lived 15 years and enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? I thought the whole point, maybe I'm wrong, all right, and maybe I don't understand this at all, but I thought that was the point, was that it was supposed to be taking things away out of your life that you want, so that you want them more than committing the crime, so you won't commit the crime again because you want those things that were taken away, right? In this case, they're saying the only punishment is that you're removed from your friends, your loved ones, your community, but you're forced to live here. But everything looks normal, does it not? Does this not look like a normal situation of living, right? So maybe they'll explain it more. I mean, maybe I'm really confused about this, but let's see if they can explain it more. Okay.
You have this washing room. You can wash the clothes and dry it.
Staying in a maximum security prison is not a normal life.
And I noticed you're just wearing normal clothes.
Yeah. That's allowed. You can wear whatever you want.
But that's also an ambition, to reduce the feeling of being in a prison as much as possible.
If anything, like the one thing that I could see be the worst thing, right? If you're just stuck in prison, let's say it was 15 years. You got a 15-year sentence for money embezzlement or something, right? What do you do with the 15 years? Because you're probably given limited resources, right? You're not given unlimited access to the internet. I guarantee you they probably wouldn't give you that. They probably give you like some access, like monitored access or whatever. You can't go where you want to go, right? So I guess the question is, what do you do at that time? Do you study? Do they give you like unlimited access to like scholarly activities that you could study and try to become smart in certain things? Would they allow education? Could you get education? Like, could you take online courses or something to learn about something, so when you get reintegrated into society, it could apply to your life? What about, like, physical activity? Do they allow you to work out regularly or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, would they allow you to actually be, like, physically fit? Because imagine if you go to jail and you're like a schlub. You're fat, you're out of shape, maybe you were on drugs, or you were an alcoholic. But because you went to jail, now you got healthy. Now you're completely detoxed. You don't need that shit in your life anymore. And then you recover, you know what I mean? So by the time you come out of jail, you're a completely different person, right? So I get that. But I guess the question is, what access do you have? Because I could definitely see it. Like, imagine if they don't give you much at all. You can only work out once a day for 20 minutes. You get internet for 30 minutes a day, and that's it. The rest of the day, you're not given anything to do. You sit around like an asshole. Then that could drive you nuts. Like, imagine your whole life, 15 years, you're staring at the wall. There's nothing to do. No endeavors of anything, right? Damn. I never really thought about it that much, but that could be pretty wild, right? Anyway, let's continue.
No, the normality principle.
How you can normalize the correctional setting for individuals to transition out. Bigger challenge in our system, but definitely something to think about. The commissary, the stores, where an individual actually gets to go to a real store and pick out commissary items. I think that's a good adds to the normalization.
So they get to actually go shop for their own
This is
food.
the most important part. Dynamic security.
Of course he's from Washington. Washington State is one of the most liberal states of the United States. They would be all over this. That's why he's out there studying, trust me.
It's like a very fancy thing, but it's really just having a normal interpersonal relations between the officers, or all staff really, and the inmates.
The role of the contact officer is one of the most important aspects of dynamic security.
Every inmate has a primary contact officer, and every officer had have 2 or 3 inmates that he is the contact officer for. That was the ambition, from guard to also be a social worker.
Norway's contact officers participate in a 2-year full-time college education. So basically, you heard what he said. They're not guards, they're like also social workers. Corrections officer training might last just weeks in some systems in the United States.
The main subjects at the academy: ethics, psychology, communication technique, criminology, law.
We didn't need to be that close to the lips. That was
Of course,
ridiculous.
they do learn self-defense. They do learn extraction techniques. They do learn to work as a team. But that's not, you know, that's not the major components. It's about how do you treat people respectfully.
Huh.
My family always think that I just play games because that's why I like very much to play games. So I often play cards and stuff with inmates.
I know in some states it's, you know, forbidden and will have consequences for you if you interact with inmates as a staff member. Quite the opposite here. We expect and demand an interaction between staff and inmates.
interactions.
It's kind of friendship with someone, and to see the progress and see the changes, that's the best with the job.
The contact officer is, for example, sitting down with you and making you a future plan. So what for steps by steps to become a free man.
From day one.
Yeah.
So the officers need to know everything about the system and give advice to the inmates about, you know, the future, what steps should they take.
Norway is one of the lowest recidivism rates in the world. I don't know what recidivism means. Does it mean like recurring crime or something? I don't know.
Photos of my daughter, big love of my life. I've been here for 1.5 years, but I was transferred from a prison in Brazil. You can compare that to come from hell to heaven. So it's a big difference. The guards, first of all.
His nostrils are flaring in
Brazil,
excitement
the guards
talking about this.
The more you feel bad and weakness, the more they feel good. Here you have the guards, you know, they was very kind to me when I came. They are still very kind. We can speak, you know, they treat me as a human being.
How much? Oh, shit. I backed out of the playlist. I have to hit play again. Hold on. Obviously, I didn't mean to do that. Now I forgot what I was going to say, too. I was going to make a joke, but since I fucked it up, I guess I shouldn't make the joke, huh? Let's resume. Shit. Here we go. I just gotta fast forward through it.
Security prison is not a normal life.
Okay.
But that's also an ambition to reduce.
I think we've seen enough, actually. I think that's enough of that video, right? So, I don't know. Here's the thing I see, right? I guess it really depends on the crime, correct? And I think it also depends on the person. Because I think that there's two different kinds of people. There's people who do things that are wrong and break the law. And they are reformable, and meaning that if they're made to know that what they did was truly wrong, why it was wrong, why they should not keep doing it, and if they're treated maybe with respect over the time that they're incarcerated, they will reform and become better. I also believe that there's people who are of this addictive nature of the crime, they can't get out of it. You know, people who are hooked on drugs, hooked on stealing, hooked on all these violence, and it doesn't matter how nice you are to the person. That person is eventually going to it's going to recur unless they get almost like a reprogramming of their mind. You know what I mean? And so I think this would work for some. I don't necessarily think this would work for all. You know, I think that's the problem is we try to find universal solutions for things that aren't universal. People are not all the same. If every person was exactly the same, then maybe this Norway prison system would work for everyone. But they're not. Like, literally, they're not. Dine says Norway's biggest mass shooter complained to the court he only has a PS2, not a PS3 in his prison. Do you see my point? Like, but I think you see the point. Like, there's not a universal cure-all for these things, but then these governments try to think, well, here's how we could do it by fixing this and doing that. It's like, no, everyone's different. Maybe this prison works for a certain group. Great, have it. But I think if you're a violent recurring criminal who just can't control their urges, perhaps they should be in maximum security prison. Right? Like, I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want someone who was like a fucking vile mass murderer being in that prison. I wouldn't trust it. I mean, they literally could sit there for 15 years, get out and immediately just start up again. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between levels of crime and things like that. So, yikes. Anyway, let's do one more video before we split the part here. Ouija. He called him a Ouija. That's right. McWages. The life of a fast food employee. Upside down McDonald's arch. I'm actually surprised I let him get away with that because it is the arch, it's just flipped.
Good afternoon, sir. What can I get you? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, what can I get you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can
What
I get a box of French fries?
Of course, and what size can it be?
Can I also get a milkshake?
What size do you want your fries?
And I'd also like to have a Happy
Of
Meal.
course, sir, but what size do you want your fries? Small, medium, or large?
Hello?
What size do you want your fries? Small, medium, or large?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
As in medium?
No, regular fries, please.
And for your milkshake, do you also want regular?
What sizes do you have?
Small, regular, or large?
Do you also have medium?
Sure, of course. And what Happy Meal do you want?
Just a normal Happy Meal.
We don't have a normal Happy Meal, sir. Do you want a Happy Meal McWage, McNugget, or McFish?
Yeah, I'd like McNuggets.
Alright, a Happy Meal with McNuggets?
No, just McNuggets only.
Just McNuggets. Forget the meal.
That's a thank you.
I'm sure this is all day too, right? This is literally
That
all
will be
day long.
$12, sir. Thank you. Your order will be at the next window.
Oh, by the way, I have a coupon here. Where can I use this?
You were supposed to show the coupon before the payments, sir.
Oh, snap. Can I cancel my order?
No.
Why is the window closed?
Here comes
Are
the
there
boss.
no people outside?
Sir, I'm getting stiff from standing at the window the whole time. Can I please go to the restaurant?
No. If I tell you to work at the drive-thru, you do exactly that.
That's right. Do what you're told.
Whoa, Jack, I want you to switch places with Josh. He is having a hard time in the restaurant, so it's better if you go there. Josh, get your ass over here, boy.
But sir, you just said I couldn't go to the restaurant.
I said you only do what I say. And now I want you to go to the restaurant.
Hello, sir. Your order.
Thanks. Wait, you forgot something.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a straw for my Coke.
My apologies. I'll get you one.
Thanks. Wait, sir. You forgot to put in enough fries.
What do you mean there's not enough fries? That box is filled up with fries.
I counted the number of fries and there are only 98 in this large box. I looked up on Google and found that there should be at least 100 fries in a large box.
That's right.
Are you telling me you want 2 more fries added to your box?
Yes.
Look, mate, I know it might sound ridiculous, but I'm saving you by getting this order correct.
I'm saving you.
What do you mean? You are literally complaining about a box having 2 fries to few.
I won't make a problem out of it, but you know, my mother will.
Your mother?
Uh-oh.
What is going on here?
Uh-oh.
Kevin, did you check if the order is correct?
Uh-oh.
Are there enough fries in the
Uh-oh.
box?
The Karen has arrived. All right, that's great. This is great. I mean, we've seen another video from these guys in the past too, right? It's basically a lot of like retail, fast food, these kind of stories. What's crazy is, as simple as you would think these jobs are, this is the menial shit you have to deal with every day from these fucking people. They think that going to like McDonald's is like a life-changing event where everything's supposed to be fucking perfect. It's like you're at McDonald's. You're paying minimal money for bad food. You know what I mean? Like, you have to expect a certain level. It's not going to be perfect, right? How do you not understand this? But that's what people... No, this is my trip to McDonald's. I'm the special snowflake. Treat me like the god of the building, and, you know, pretty crazy, right? So, anyway. No, I totally get it. That's pretty good. I like that video. These are interesting videos. I mean, they're not super long. It just so happens, though, we're splitting the part. I'll let you guys decide if you want to watch the rest of that video in the next part, but we got to split the part right now, okay? So thank you for watching. DSP versus the Internet, episode 46. Part 2 is pretty good. I'll see you in part 3.